money. What we're going to do, everybody has the prayer protection, and let's all say the prayer protection together. This is going to be bringing the Spirit in because we're all becoming one unit, and we're going to work together as that unit. All right. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. Okay. And with that, I introduce you to Reverend Jack.
Good evening, everyone. Did you all have a good week? I'm not supposed to walk. Did you all have a good week?
Yes.
Now, we are here for what purpose? To learn what?
Meditation.
Meditation. But we are developing. We're in a meta-development group. And we are developing our true self. So remember that. We aren't here to learn how to be a psychic, a medium, whatever. We are here to develop self, your true self. And it's so important that we get to know self. So, remember, we start with a little bit of relaxation exercise. Now, did any of you do your exercises over the last week? Have you tried it? Good. So remember, we're going to start out. Feet on the floor, flat.
Everybody can stand up. We're going to be stretching.
Well, we're going to do that one too.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do that.
No. We're going to do the body tensing first.
Oh, okay.
Feet on the floor, with your feet pointed out, stretch them out, but on flat on the floor. Rest your arms in your lap comfortably. Now, we are going to tense our body. We're going to go through the body. We're going to tense them and hold them. I'll tell you when, and I'll tell you when to release. And then we'll go on from there. So you tense and hold it, and then relax. Now, remember, when you're doing your breathing, you breathe, you inhale, your stomach goes out. Like a baby. When you exhale, it goes in. It's amazing how many people don't know how to breathe. So you inhale. Excuse me. You inhale and then your stomach goes in as you exhale. Okay, now, so go down to your feet. Tense your feet. Tense them. Real tight and hold it. Hold it. Release. Relax. Go up into your calves. Tense your calves. Tighten them. Tight. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Now go up to your thighs. Tighten your thighs. Tense them up. And hold it. Release. Now go up into your buttocks. Tense your buttocks. Tense them up. Hold it. Release. Now go up into your stomach. Tense your stomach. Hold it. Release. Go up into your chest area. Tense your chest. Hold it. Release. Let's do our arms. You can do both of them at one time. Take your arms and tense them up like you're going to have to lift a 100-pound bag of cement. Hold it. Release. Let it go. Now go up into your neck. Tense your neck. Tighten it up. And hold it. Release. Now tense your whole face. like, what would be a good illustration? Somebody spritz you with cold water. Huh? That's a good one. Or a sour lemon. Tense your whole face up. Your whole face, tense it up. Ooh, the eyes, everything. Hold it, and release. Now tense your skull. That works with your forehead too. Just tense your skull. Tense it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Take a nice deep breath. Oh, that was nice. Now you can all stand up.
Stand up.
Take both arms straight out. Now lean to your right.
Oops.
All the way down as far as you can go. Just hold it there for a few seconds. Okay? Bring it out. Now go to your left. Just hold it there. Pretend you're a ballet dancer. Okay. Bring it up. Okay, let's take our both hands up above our heads. And another ballet move. Okay? Now move your whole body over to the right. Hold it, and then bring it up. To your left. Hold it. Nice. And bring it up. Now, drop your arms and shake it out. Just shake it out. Shake it out. Okay, now you can sit down. Now, we do 3 deep breaths. And they are called what? Sevenfold breath. Remember, you breathe in through your nose to the count of 7. Hold it for the count of 7. And then exhale it very violently through the mouth. Pretend you're blowing out a great big candle that's about 3 feet away from you. Yeah. And those, we do 3 of them in a row. Okay, are we ready? Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are some of you may have to work at this over a period of time. But eventually, see what you are doing is you are taking in all this oxygen into your lungs, which gets your brain all leveled out. And it's so important that you get the oxygen through the blood into the brain. Okay, let's do it again. One more. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. Very good. Now, get in the meditative pose. I'm going to play some music. Oh, you have it. Okay. And you're going to just...
He reads the great truths in order to resonate, to have his heart sound out of the soothing tones of timeless light, captured in a printed word upon each page. With such words other than invisible truth made visible, the infallible made tangible to nourish hungry hearts. Such sentiments caught on paper may be either a window or a door, a passage or an impasse, depending upon whether the seeker sees them as an invitation to a feast or mistakes them for being the food itself. But for those who wish direct relationship with God, it is not enough to reverberate knowing. These tender tones must soon depart. Besides, what purpose is the sound for the interior invitation? But to know the singer himself, to be his song. Impossible, cynical voices intone, laughing within and without, even as they abide alone and apart, laminating their barren rapid. But who will, must choose to be, after all. Invitations require preparation, and their promise must be laid down in favor of their purpose, so that the good works of preparation is perfection may begin. That's written by Guy Finley. I thought that was so appropriate for what we're doing in this class, because we have to have the tones that you heard tonight. It was the invitation. We're going to review for some of those that weren't here last week. We're going to review the difference between meditation and prayer. Prayer is talking to God, giving him thanks, praising God. And meditation is getting quiet, sitting, and getting the answer. That's very, very simple to understand. The most important thing is the prayer of protection, which Reverend Jack and I decided to do right before we start, because that's so important. It makes everybody comfortable and together. We have to always give thanks, and we know that before we go into it. We talked about meditation. A lot of times you'll hear that doctors are recommending meditation. But what happens, they're not telling you how to meditate because they really don't know. They just heard it and they relax somewhere and listen to music, and that's meditation. But that's because they know all the brain parts. They know what's all connected. And we feel in meditation that's what we need to do. We're going to go in that. So it's appropriate to get the foundation of meditation before you go into just sitting and getting yourself into a stressful situation when you can't relax and so forth. Hopefully we will do that for you in this class. We're not going to do it for you, you're going to do it. I should rephrase that. Because there's three phases of the mind: the normal mind, the concentrating mind, and also the meditating mind. And we'll go in that later on with all the different levels of meditation. Some of the little civil mind things that I brought the chart downstairs, but I think we're going to do that next week. So we know that the meditations that we do is for ourself, our own growth. Because if you don't get the basis of meditation down, and you just get put in a class that goes right from here into deep meditation, and you have all these things in your head that's not getting out, you're going to attract exactly what you have up there. How do we know that? We know that. Don't ask us how, I think from experience. So, because we all become sensitive instruments, and that sensitivity, we want to be in the right direction of the God mind. No other mind. We don't have room for any other openings. Meditation can build the bridges and the lines of communication between various points. It's like a big broadcasting system. And with this meditation tool, we can have the transmutation, that change that we want. We can have the transformation, that's the alteration to go with it. And then the transfiguration is meeting the radiance change within you. You'll feel that radiation within you. And meditation is going to let you get in that inner levels of your own being. And there's many levels within us. How many people are aware of that? It's just not one. It's many layers. And that's what we have to sometimes peel off like that onion. We have to go back. What we're striving to do, this invitation is an invitation to the monad within. The monad, does everybody remember from last week, is the divine spark that we started from. We want to remember that wonderful experience because it's there somewhere. But we have all this clutter that we have to get rid of. And we know that the monad itself, it's the soul intelligence. It's our intelligence. It's the spirit and the energy that is the movement. It's the consciousness. And it's also in the memory mechanism. So we need to know meditation will also find us the spirit within ourselves. It'll find God. And most of all, it's going to find what? It's going to find that divine love, that divine peace within each one. And how many people need to find that peace? Everybody needs to find that peace within. Because if we had that peace within, we wouldn't have all the turmoil. And we do have turmoil all around us, don't we? But maybe it's our job to get ourselves together that we can reach out to others in the coming years, because that's going to be very important. If you hear all the prophecies that are coming down, we need to have that we can go in that space in a minute. But is it going to take us 3 weeks to go in a deep meditation? I don't think so. Because remember, nothing is instant. There might be instant potatoes. When did they come about? About 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that they had instant potatoes. Sooner than 40 years ago. 40 years ago. Well, until I was raised on a farm, because we had real potatoes. But what I'm saying is there's nothing instant. In other words, you can't sit in one class and expect you know it all. I don't care if you sat in 20 classes. If you sat in classes all over the world or everywhere, and you didn't practice what you were taught, you didn't get it. It's that simple. Think of all the calculations of all the money you spent in all these years to go into all these classes. Add them up. Some of these classes are very, very expensive. Should it be that way? Not if we want to get the word out. Not if we want to get the word out. We want to get the word out to help people. And this could be one of our whole projects here at St. John's Church of Faith. We need to have that spiritual awakening. But first of all, does anybody have any questions from last week? Everybody understand what we talked about last week? Well, as I said before, meditation has several layers, and we're going to hopefully peel off those layers, but we're going to have to learn some things. Now remember, I'm going to do this. Hopefully, we can all understand it. You won't be able to write it down because you won't have time. I tried to get it larger. Matter of fact, I called my doctor, Dr. Young, and I said, Dr. Young, do you have one of those brains that I see that you used to have in those offices that could be taken apart? He said, no, that was at the other office I worked at. I don't have a brain. Then I said, well, I need to have information. He said, I'll tell you what, go in the kids' corner on health. And you can get wonderful things that everybody's going to understand. Why is the brain so important in meditation? Well, we were taught, this is how we were taught 40, 50 years ago. This is the front part of your brain, the cerebrum. This is the back part of your brain. This is the cerebellum. And that's what we learned. Then we learned about the pineal gland. Now, all of you in the class that had Nancy's class will know about the pineal gland, won't you? Right here in the middle, right in the center. That's where the pineal gland is. Now, all this is very important, so we're going to explain why. The largest part of your brain here is the part that is the thinking part of your brain. That's the part of your brain that controls the voluntary muscles. And so if you don't have that, sometimes you can't move or do things that you want to do. And it's the part of the brain that thinks hard, because you're using that brain all the time and you're always thinking. That's the part of the brain that has the short memory and the long memory. The long memory, of course, is going to remember what movie you took, and the short memory is going to be what you ate for dinner or what you ate for breakfast this morning. Now, is this all important in meditation? Absolutely it is. Because you have to retrain. We're retraining your brain in order to remember short term. How many people forgot what they ate for breakfast? How many people ate breakfast? But can you sit there and tell me every detail you had? Absolutely, a lot of people can't do that. But this is very important that we have to do that, especially as we get older. We need to do this. Jack, do you remember what you had for breakfast, or didn't you eat?
I did.
Okay. And then it's like a movie that you saw 2 months ago, sometimes 2 weeks ago. I take short-term memory as yesterday. Long-term could be 2 months, 3 months. That's long-term when you get over 50. But anyway, this large part of your brain is like in 2 pieces. It's 2 pieces. Did anybody ever see that brain in a doctor's office? Well, you have a left part and a right part. And the left part is said to be more analytical. It's helping you with math. It keeps you like everything is in its place. Everything has to be just so. The right part of the brain is like the part that, well, different music, abstract music, maybe colors, maybe everything looks brighter to you, shapes you, more musical. A lot of actors, actresses are right-brained, so they claim. And we know that the right part of the brain also controls the left side of the body. Does everybody know that? We have some nurses here, but some people don't know that. And I don't even know if massage therapists get that information. But anyway, then we have the other part of the brain, the back part of the brain. This back part right here. Right, this part right here. Maybe, can anybody see that? I'm sorry it's not larger, that green part. Well, that part is the cerebellum. That part of the brain is very important because it controls our balance. It controls the balance, it controls how we move around, and so we need to have that part of our brain in operation in order to be well balanced in body, mind, and spirit. Do you see how this is connecting to meditation? How many people thought that the brain had anything to do with meditation? Some people don't. They go right into a meditation class. But anyway, then we have this brain stem back here. You know what that is? That is the biggest job. That's the brain secretary. That part of the brain is what helps you keep alive. It assists you in breathing, digesting food, circulating your blood. Who would think that little part is so important? Now, we weren't taught that many years ago, because I don't think they put much emphasis on that as they are now. Now it all falls into place. That's why they want to do all this research on those cells. But that's not all that we need in this brain. Because, here's a good part. Here's a part of the brain. Jack, you can have that. Then we have the pituitary gland. Now, most of the time in medical things, they say, oh, that's just for growth hormones.
No.
It's growth hormones or things like that. Well, in metaphysics, it's when you meditate, this part of this little gland stands up like this. And that happens to be your antenna to bring in the light. To bring in the light. How many people knew that? The class should know that. But that's to bring in the light. And that's also a part of you're bringing in the light, you're bringing in that spirit, and that also is a connection to the meditation part of it all, bringing in the light into your body and into your brain. Then you have other parts of the brain. Then you have this real little thing behind that, where it's called I don't know if I say this, hypothalamus.
The hypothalamus.
Hypothalamus. And that's the part where it keeps your body temperature. So we need to in balance too. You see how everything needs to be in balance here. Why it's so important with the brain. So then what happens here, this here part of this brain stem also has to have more things helping it. Because you're probably saying, oh, so the brain is the boss here? Absolutely. The brain controls everything. But the nerves have a lot to do with it. Now we have these little nerves that come all the way down the spinal column. I don't have that on the paper. But it comes all the way down the spinal column. And those are little neurons that go out into little things all over your body for sensing that the brain can sense and feel. It's just like a little computer going in and out there. And this is what we can practice because we can have those messages travel. And it takes practice to do this. It's not like you can't come to a class and not practice for 2 weeks because it's not going to work for you. How many people agree? You got to work. You got to work. And it takes you 10 minutes out of your whole day. Tell me you don't have 10 minutes to get yourself quiet and to just listen to a song and so forth. But anyway, these little nerves in your back and in this part of this brainstem, when you're riding a bike, they send out these messages. You got to balance. You got to watch the road. You got to worry about the handlebars. See, there's a lot of things that have to connect in order for you to do it. What happens if you fall off the bike? Do you just stop riding? Or do you get on that bike and relearn it? That's how it is in meditation. You can practice it, and then you'll be able to go like this with it and meet that higher self within you. And then we have, this is the emotion location, and I think this is where what we truly have to work on. They're little sacs on the side of the brain. I don't know what color I painted them. They're on the two sides of your brain. It's about the shape of an almond. And that is amygdala. Now, what is that? That is the center of our emotions. That's where our emotions store. Did you know that? No, we thought the emotion was in the mind. Someone told me in the heart. So, but it's all in here. And these are the little things that we can change. We can change those emotions. Sometimes we have emotions of good emotions and bad emotions mixed up. We can feel sad. This is where all that's coming from. Well, there's two little almonds inside of our brain. So this is why it's so important in meditation to know a little bit about your brain, to know how it all connects. We're talking about all that connection because later on, we're going to get into the whole process where the light goes right down. Everybody hears of chakras. That goes right down that chakra system. That's all the spinal cord. And that's why you have to know how this all works. So you're far from ready to go and open up chakras and all that stuff. We're not doing that. You got to clear this out first. That's what Jack and I come to that conclusion, didn't we? That's what's happening. People are reading a book. They're sitting down and they're doing this and this and this, and they know it all. And before you know it, they get in trouble. Because what happens if you don't do it properly? You're not going to open up like that lotus flower. Remember that rosebud? How Jack had you lay in the rosebud? That's how you have to open up the whole part of your brain, and balance both sides, the right and the left side. And we truly believe, we talked about this on Tuesday, we truly believe that's where the meditation comes together. When we can balance that brain, the left and the right, then we're more balanced. And you know what? It's going to be easier for you to know who you are. Because we're not going to tell you who you are. You're going to know who you are. It's not important that we know what are your good points and your bad points. It's for what you need to know for yourself. Now, we don't portray to be professors. We're talking from experience. So, does anybody have any questions? We need some questions. I'll try to answer. Well, we have 2 nurses here that can maybe help us if we get any deeper medically. But what we were talking about is very basic, and we were saying is that it's important that we know those functions in order to open up properly and to start to release things. See, maybe we can start thinking, next week I think, Jack, we decided to start on the releasing process. Or the next week we meet. So we can maybe practice on that. Just kind of feel an emotion, maybe on the left side or the right side, and write that emotion down every week, and then start working on it. If it's a negative emotion, then start cleansing it, like wiping it out with a sponge. We're going to do a lot of those exercises, but we thought it was important that you start really working on knowing why you're here. Because someone said to me, well, will I be able to do all these readings? I said, oh, no, we're not getting this across. This is not a development for you to become that famous psychic, as Jack has said. This is a development to know who you are, to help yourself regain peace, to have that peace within that you can handle any situation, that you don't run away from it. Because so often we run away from our emotional side. We want to run and hide, or we'll put a Band-Aid on it, and we don't ever want to face that. So this time, we're going to have you for homework. We're going to pass at the end of the class. We're going to have you do exercises that are just for you. I want you to do them as questionnaires about the left and the right side of the brain. Let's find out if you are left or right. Let's be honest about it. If you want to share it with us, that's fine. And if you don't want to share it too, because people get upset if they're too much of one and not enough of the other. That's not what we're here for. We're here to